What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into TNA Impact from November the 7th, 2024. An okay show for the most part. It was okay. It could have been better, but it was okay. It was a little bit better than last week's show. Usually for TNA, as we get closer to the end of the year, they tend to kind of fizzle out, but it is what it is. But like I said, this show was fine. It wasn't the best, and it really wasn't, bad. But it wasn't like great. It was just okay to all right, if I'm being honest. But this was an okay show for the most part. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night: Tasha Steelz and Alicia Edwards versus Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich. Masha Slamovich and Jordan Grace defeat them. Masha wins via the sleeper hold. TNA has got to build up their knockouts division. I don't know who's going to be a credible opponent to take on Masha, since Jordan Grace is all but done. She's done in January, and I'm guessing they're probably going to try to fit in a rematch between the two of them, either at the next pay-per-view later this month in late November, or they're going to wait until final resolution in December, whenever that will be. That'll probably be early December, more than likely. So there's that. But they've got to begin to rebuild that knockouts division. They have to. TNA has to. I know people have said bringing people from the indies, but the problem is with that, you can't always bring people in from the indies. You can't just always do that. People have to still realize that TNA, they still operate as an indie. They do. They still operate as an indie. It's just basically like a televised indie, and people don't get that. You actually need star power to bring in fans. You need star power. I mean, I get what people are saying to bring in, indie names, but you can't always do that. And I'm hoping that WWE and AEW sometime next year will begin to release some talent for TNA to get. I know WWE, they'll definitely release some more talent before the end of the year for sure. AEW, probably not so much, but WWE, they'll definitely do those quiet releases. We're not going to renew your contract type of stuff, just to be nice to these people. But it is what it is. But I just want TNA to succeed in that knockouts division. That's their bread and butter, along with the X division. But we'll have to just wait and see. But I think the only believable opponent for Masha is Xia Li. I think she's the only one that would be believable in taking Masha to the limit. And maybe that's what they're going to set up for, probably around Genesis in January. So that would make sense, because I'm pretty sure that her feud with Savannah Evans is going to be short. It's not going to be long. So it's trying to be like a little mini feud, and then from there they can still continue to build up Xia Li, and hopefully that's the plan going forward. Moving on. So, speaking of Savannah Evans, she was backstage with Gia Miller for a quick interview. So, Savannah says that she got tired of sitting at home for 8 months and watching people get opportunities. She's back now to take her own. So, I like this promo. It's pretty decent, but honestly, I thought that she got released. I was like, what the hell? Because when she came back, I was like, oh, shit. And she actually got a pretty decent reaction last week when she made her return. So that was cool. But I really did think that Savannah Evans got quietly released. Seriously. Because she was gone for 8 months. I didn't know if she was injured or what. That's weird to me though. Like that's not cool for her to be sitting there for 8 months. I legitimately thought that she got quietly released. So TNA needs to do something with her. I doubt if she'll, beat Xia Li in the feud if they're gonna make turn it into that. I'd say she'll probably win the first match, and then Xia will win the last two matches. After that, I don't know what you do with Savannah Evans. Honestly, I would love her to go to like a reality of wrestling for a while, and then that way she could go to NXT. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because she does need some work. She does, but glad that she's back, and we'll see where this shit goes. Moving on, so Rosemary defeats Wendy Chu in a no disqualification match. So this match was okay, and we knew this was going to happen. We knew that Wendy Chu was going to lose, which she does. So, we had weapons and stuff involved, like all of these no DQ matches, obviously. So towards the end of the match, Rosemary hit a spear. I thought that was going to be the finish, but it wasn't. So her and Wendy Chu, they traded submission holds, like a full Nelson and a mandible claw. So Rosemary hits the as above, so below finish, the Angel Clipper that Angel Garza uses. So she did that onto the cane for the 1, 2, 3. And then she used Wendy's spider pillow and put her head on that, and that was it. So this makes perfect sense. Wendy Chu and Rosemary, they're no more. I like this. I forgot Rosemary would also be a good opponent for Masha as well, but Rosemary's just been there for years, and she's kind of an also-ran, if we're being honest. Not being mean, but that's just the damn truth. Like, she's not really done much of anything. Like, she's never even left TNA to, like, venture out and do something else. She's never tried to go to WWE. She's never even tried to even attempt to go to AEW. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Rosemary. She's okay, but, I don't know. Hopefully, now that Wendy Chu has lost to Rosemary, hopefully this will revert her back to her bubbly, happy self she used to be when she was wearing like the onesie and doing all the baby stuff. So that might be what she reverts back to. Hopefully, I don't fucking know. Moving on. So TNA, they announced their next premium live event, which is Turning Point, which takes place on November the 29th. So in about 3 weeks. So they're building towards that, which is great. Hopefully it's not a bunch of long matches on. I mean, hopefully it's not a bunch of. I mean, my bad. Hopefully it's not too many matches on the card. I think that this should be like either a 6 or 7 match show. You don't need 8 matches. You really don't. Just do 2 matches on the main card, and then you do maybe like 5 or 6 matches on the no. I would do 2 match. No, I would do 1 match on the pre-show, and then do 6 matches on the main card, and that's it, and call it a day. Moving on. So we got, for whatever reason, we got a dark match, 2 dark matches that aired from June of this year, the mid part of June. I guess they did that just to kill time. I don't know why TNA does this. They went into from the vault. They did that little segment. I don't know why they did that. That was weird, and it just doesn't make any sense. I have no idea why they did it. I wish they would have given us an actual update on what happened to Chris Bay. I mean, we know that he's injured. I wish that we could have gotten a promo from Ace Austin, saying that he checked on Chris and everything else and that he's doing well. I don't know, but I don't know why TNA did that. I get it, it was to kill time and everything, but we could have done without that, honestly. It is what it is, though. Moving on, so Steve Maclin, he cut a promo backstage. He sent a message to Josh Alexander. He brings up having his hands zip-tied and beaten, but he makes it clear that he didn't really lose to the walking weapon. And he assures that things aren't over yet. And he said that he's never trusted Josh, since he came into the company day one. So that makes sense. This is fine. I would imagine that their rivalry would probably end, I would say, at Final Resolution in December. I think that would make the most sense. So you have Maclin win this match, which I would presume starts at Turning Point for their second match. And then you have him win the final match, the rubber match. I don't know. That's what I would do. To me, that makes the most sense. Because we all know that Josh Alexander is leaving, which is fine. That's great. And once again, I don't see Josh Alexander going to AEW or WWE. Josh Alexander is almost 40. He's not. He wouldn't survive in WWE. He wouldn't. And just because Ethan Page is there, that doesn't mean anything. Like, Josh Alexander is injury prone, and he didn't have a character. He doesn't have a character. And I loved how Steve Maclin in the promo said, the only reason why he got his push was because of the boss in the back, talking about Scott D'Amore. I love that. That was fucking awesome. That was good shit because it was true. That's the only reason why Josh Alexander got pushed. And I've said for months on multiple TNA reviews I've done on the channel that Josh Alexander needs to just go to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. That's what he needs to do. AEW and WWE are not going to pick him up. He's injury prone. He can't use the C4 Spike Power Driver in WWE. So that's a no-go. And in AEW, he would just be either on Rampage or Collision. So, why would you even, waste your time? So, I don't fucking know, man. But Josh, we all know that he's out next year. So, that's fine with me. Hopefully, TNA can bring in some stars. Hopefully they can get like Elias, a.k.a. Elijah, maybe even the Velveteen Dream. I hope to the creator above they don't get Dijak. If they do, it is what it is, but I hope they don't get him. I think Dijak will just stay on the indies. Moving on. So, the Rascals, they're backstage. So, they're talking amongst themselves backstage about how there's always another obstacle in front of them. They ultimately decide that it's about the climb anyways, and they're ready to do so again. They literally climb up the set behind them. So then we come back. So they're back in their spot. So they're doing the whole laugh track stuff. So they address the empty chair where Wes Lee used to sit. And then they made a couple of sex and weed jokes, and that was it. So it's kind of funny, I guess. So that's pretty cool. So they're back to their old goofy babyface ways. That's all right. Hopefully Marvin Reed will come back, but he's gonna be having a child. Him and Killer Kelly are gonna be having a child, so congrats to them. I don't know when we'll see Killer Kelly. Hopefully we'll see her next year sometime. If not, definitely in 2026. But congrats to them. Wish them nothing but the best. Seriously. Moving on. So, we get a video package, basically describing what happened. It was a digital media exclusive about what went down last week after TNA went off the air between Nick Nemeth, Ryan Nemeth, and Joe Hendry. How everybody was just bickering back and forth and everything else. And then Santino Marella, he got involved, made a match, which is going to be taking place next week. Joe Hendry versus Ryan Nemeth, my bad. So Joe Hendry, he shows up, which is great. Joe Hendry says it's usually time to talk about Joe Hendry, but now it's time to talk about Nick's brother, Ryan Nemeth. And so Joe Hendry said that he has a video he'd like to show of Ryan Nemeth's career, and Joe Hendry says that he put together another custom music video. He wants to celebrate all the amazing accolades achieved by Ryan Nemeth. He says there's a lot to go through. He says he spoke to the network, and if they need to go long to cover it, they can. So the video just says he's Nick Nemeth's brother, and that was it. That was it. That was great. So the fans wanted it one more time. Joe Hendry says they'll add another chapter next week because Ryan Nemeth will have to face Joe Hendry next week on TNA Impact. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Really good stuff there. Ryan Nemeth is basically a clown. Moving right along. So Mike Santana, he's backstage. So First Class, they show up, which is AJ Francis and Casey Navarra. So they wanted Santana to join them. Santana tells them he just went through the system by himself. Why would he need someone like you to help? Then he walks off. AJ Francis tells Casey Navarro he needs him to handle Mike Santana. Pause. So, I mean, that's fine, I guess. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Moving on, Heather by Elegance loses to Jody Threat. That's fine. It is what it is. Who cares? Main event of the evening. Moose defeats Speedball Mike Bailey to become the new X Division champion. It took not one, not two, not even three, but 4 spears to defeat Speedball. That's dumb as fuck. It should have just taken no more than about 2 spears to beat Mike Bailey. That's overkill. It's like a damn video game. It's like we're playing 2K24. I don't get it. And then post-match, Trent Seven comes down, and he acts like he's going to embrace Speedball Mike Bailey, which he does. Then Trent Seven low blows him, and he chokes out Mike Bailey with a towel. And then he hits a lariat, and then he throws him out of the ring, and that was the end of the show. So that's fine, I guess. Trent Seven turning heel. That's okay. I mean, I'm not a fan of Trent Seven. I'm just not. It is what it is. I get where they're going with this. Maybe Mike Bailey is on his way out, so that's why they gave the X Division Championship to Moose, which actually makes perfect sense. I'm not a fan of Moose either, so maybe this will lead Moose facing Santana, and then maybe Santana's gonna be the one to dethrone Moose. And I think that would be a perfect place for him, for Mike Santana to be X Division champion. I could see them working out, doing option C later on next year. So I think, that's kind of cool. I don't see Moose being X Division champion long, and it does make sense. So TNA was okay. Moose winning the X Division Championship, that's okay. Not really all that important. I expect for him to lose to Mike Santana after he has his little mini feud with Casey Navarra and AJ Francis, aka First Class. Joe Hendry making fun of Ryan Nemeth was cool. So I guess Joe Hendry, he's going to be going after the world title again. He's going to start from the bottom. So we'll have to see where that goes. So we might be looking at TNA righting a wrong as to where Joe Hendry, is able to defeat Nick Nemeth come Genesis in January. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But what did you guys think of TNA? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.